What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Squadcast. I'm the Delta BB.
Polly here.
Tall ass leprechaun.
JDB.
Decoy NDA.
Welcome, Decoy NDA. It's been a minute since you've been on a podcast with us.
Oh, it has. It has. I'm glad to be here with y'all tonight.
We're not going to talk about the weather this time.
Oh,
That's a
good
good
God.
thing.
Last time we talked about some naders.
Hey, you know,
Hey, you can't go wrong with naders.
nope, that's true.
Damn Polly lassoing some tornadoes in. That's what he does in his free time. Since he lives in Oklahoma, he has a lasso and he just
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, so you're a modern day Pecos Bill?
Whenever I get a chance, on the side. So,
All right, so who's going to start us off tonight?
I'm not gonna start
Why not?
unless you just want me to start. I will. I actually have it might not be. I'm not exactly sure, and I don't really have a backup topic. If not everyone knows about this, but this is a pretty popular thing. Like when it happened, so hopefully everyone knows.
Start us
So
off.
I have been watching and listening to documentaries and podcasts about the John Benet Ramsey story. So I don't know if everyone knows of that or not, but
Nothing a quick Google search won't.
so it's basically just a little
Nope.
pageant girl that got killed, and there was a conspiracy that it could have been the parents, it could have been someone that broke in. It's still never really been proven, just because of how bad the scene was handled. Initially, whenever everything came out, so
So you said John Bennett Ramsey?
John Benet Ramsey, yep.
I think I kind of remember something about that. I
All
don't
right.
remember all the details behind it, but I do remember the gist of it.
Yeah, so she was killed on
December
they
25th or 26th.
they say it's the 25th or 26th, but I think it was actually like the day of Christmas. So personally, that's what I think. I mean, there's just so much on it. There's like a lot of stuff that you can find things. Like I said, I've watched in the last, I don't know, 6 to 8 months. I've been watching and listening to a lot of stuff.
Immediately, I could tell you, like, she was 6 years old. So,
Yeah.
So I'm assuming they think that the parents did it. Or one of the parents did it, correct?
Yeah, so they think that it could have been one of the parents, possibly. There's also evidence that it could have been an intruder.
Now, was this like initially that they saw it, or they saw it afterwards?
Initially, I want to say I think initially they were looking at. Oh man, I can't remember now right off the bat what they were. I want to say it was the mom. They were looking at the mom right off the bat, I think. But then, the dad found the body downstairs after the police had already looked around the house. So a lot of stuff went wrong right off the bat. Like whenever the police showed up, so many things were handled the wrong way that it just pretty much threw everything off. And there's I've watched documentaries with the actual original like detectives that worked on the case, and just the uniformed cops that showed up there was no securing the scene. There was none of that happening. It was just it was Christmas morning. There was a ransom note. The ransom note is where it kind of gets people. So it would have either been someone that knew the dad, or and the dad's name is John. So if I reference that, that's what that means. So the dad, John, the actual ransom note letter that was one of the biggest, parts of the evidence that they have from the whole thing, um, was the exact amount that John, the dad, got for his Christmas bonus. So that right there tells me, not just, not some rando off the street's not gonna know that, or,
Right.
I mean, what I think the biggest part of it is, like, I think people think maybe the parents were were gonna do it. I don't know, dude. It's so hard to say because there's so many things that initially went wrong with the case right off the bat on the scene, or initially, that could have gone differently and would have totally changed the entire outcome of the whole thing.
If one of the parents did it, that's just fucked. But I mean, that's almost like the Casey Anthony thing, because it was the same situation. There's people that believe Casey Anthony did it, and there's people that believe that she didn't do it.
Yeah.
And I could tell.
believe she did it.
I could tell you that she's pretty damn good at making you think that she didn't do it.
Yeah.
I've watched quite a few documentaries on that, and she puts on a good front to make you think. She plays the victim card a lot.
Yeah.
Do I think she did it? Absolutely. I think her dad had something to do with it. Her dad absolutely probably helped cover that shit up. But
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the same scenario in this potentially. Did the parents do it, and they could have wrote that ransom note?
The thing is, they easily could have done that, and then they easily could have written that ransom note, and then an intruder could have came in, because so the whole thing with the intruder is that they came in. There was a basement window that was cracked. It had a shoe print in the dirt in the basement. There was a suitcase that there was dirt from the actual basement on the top of the suitcase, where it looks like the shoe print went onto the actual top of the suitcase for them to use to get back out the window. There's just so many different things. There's so many different things that they could have done differently that would have changed the outcome. But also, really, the evidence there's evidence that proves that one of the parents did it. There's also evidence that there was an intruder. There's evidence for both ways, really. The only thing that really messes things up big time is that the dad is the one who found her body. So he contaminated the entire scene. She had a garrote around her neck. I believe he took that off when he found her. He took the tape off of her wrists, off of her mouth too, I think. There was just so many things that went wrong with the whole thing.
What's
Because,
that? What's that other fucked up one? The one where the dad he killed the wife and he killed his two kids, and he stuffed the kids in barrels at his job. It's on Netflix. The American
Jeffrey Dahmer?
No, fuck no.
Jeff Dahmer?
No, Jeffrey Dahmer. For one, Jeffrey Dahmer didn't have kids.
Oh, I didn't realize you said they had kids.
Yeah, it was called the American Killer or the American Psycho or something. Not that.
Oh.
It definitely wasn't the American Psycho. But the dude actually reported his wife missing and all that good shit. But
realistically, he killed her.
Realistically, yeah, and so the police noticed that the sheets and stuff were off of all the beds. He had literally killed them in their sleep and wrapped them up, and that's how he got them out of the house. And the way that they ended up figuring it out is the neighbor's camera next door picked up. It was facing towards their house, and it picked up him putting something in the back of his truck, and it looked to be the length of a body.
Yeah.
But it was 3 fucking bodies. It was 2 little girls, and then the wife.
Damn. See, the the Casey Anthony case, what really got me going about that was she wasn't concerned about her daughter missing. She went out partying, smiling, going on about her life when her daughter was missing. They didn't
Yeah.
report her missing for like 30 days after she had already been missing.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked up.
Well, remember, babe, watching that she kept playing with her hair. Like when they were interviewing her, she kept playing with her hair, and I was like, that's a telltale sign of like the whole truth not being told. Like you're being fidgety, and that's a nervous habit. So you're doing something during the interview that to me is showing you're guilty of something.
Yeah.
Because you're just continuously like moving your hair, and it would be in the same spot, and she would just move it back into the same exact spot that it was originally in.
Yeah, and like I was saying, I think the major part that kind of fucks it up is like, first off, the dad should have never been the one that found her. Like right off the bat, like no, like that's not. That's not how that's supposed to go. And that right there, to me, that's like, okay, did he legitimately find her? And that just, he was just, his daughter was dead. So like, what did he, or was he doing that to, okay, well, now anything that we find from him on her or on something that was on her, the tape that the garage that someone used on her. I mean, like, at that point he contaminated the scene, so now his fingerprints are going to be on everything in there on her. That would have been, crucial to solving the case, I think. Now, I mean, you get into that, like, okay, did he do that? Did he do that out of, he found his daughter dead, or did he do that out of, okay, I need to make sure and be the one that finds her and contaminates it so they can't, see that there's clearly been.
But remember, it's their house, so like,
again,
your fingerprints are going to be all over.
And that's another thing is the handle on the garage. So if you don't know what a garage is, it's you'd have to look it up see exactly what one looks like. But the hand, basically, it's so you can put it around their neck and put it up, and it's got a hard stick on one side that they hold on to, and they kind of pull. That's what they use to strangle them.
Yeah, have you ever seen The Godfather?
Yes.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, you know the bar scene when they take out Lucia? That's a garage.
Yes.
Yep.
So in the garage handle was one of Patty, which is the mom, was used from one of her paintbrushes. So that's another piece that, like really,
Right.
that kind of adds to the parents did it case, So, I mean,
what's your opinion, Steve?
From my side, it's hard to say because number one, they had a ransom note.
Yep.
But yet they found the body in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So those two don't click right there. My investigative skills would actually tell me something's astray right here.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you said there's actually dirt on a suitcase in the actual room and everything.
Yep.
That's another tell, like something's off, because why would they go through a window then wind up in the basement, which most houses you have. I don't know how old the house is. I know it's in Boulder, Colorado area, so it could be an older house where in order to access the basement you have to go outside and enter the basement.
Right. I want to say you can enter it. I can't remember. I'd have to look it up. But so the suitcase where the actual window was open was actually not in the same room that her body was found in. I don't know if I said that or not, but it wasn't in the same. But either way, there's still, they either tried to plant that or, something.
Right. I mean, because, okay, so everybody knows the most famous kidnapping that actually has happened in American history, which is the Lindbergh baby kidnapping.
Yep.
Well, they've actually starting to now think that it wasn't the guy who actually did it. They think that he was a scapegoat for the fact of the Lindbergh family now, because some of the things that have been happening with the Lindberghs and everything else, and trying to get them back into the news and everything else. They think that it was a kind of the same situation now. It's like somebody took the fall for it back then, but now they're starting to re-examine the evidence with more modern technology and bring it up to the fact that it could have been an inside job.
Yeah.
But in
Yeah, I
the
mean,
1930s, you don't have that technology.
Right, and again, that's another thing. They didn't really have the technology like we do now. But the thing is, if that happened right now, like if that happened and we woke up tomorrow morning and that she was killed tomorrow, we would have been able to solve this case and nothing would ever, it would have never been an issue. And they can't even do that now with today's technology because so much shit was fucked up whenever they initially were on, when they arrived on the scene, so much shit happened that should have never happened that they couldn't even go back now and do anything about it. Like there's nothing they could take the evidence and go and try to test different things, but like there's nothing. I mean, it's not that it's because it's so long ago, but mainly because so much shit went wrong initially with the police that were there. That never
it being gone, or it being like so long ago, that part doesn't matter because they've got they've got evidence that has been in, they've got evidence from like the 60s and 70s and can pinpoint people to them just because of today's technology.
They still have evidence in the FBI vault that actually predates the FBI.
Yeah.
And the FBI was formed in the 1920s to go into the Osage Nation murders. That was one of the big founding blocks that actually started the FBI.
Steve, weren't you around when the FBI was initiated?
Almost. Don't go back that far, okay? But no, it's kind of funny though. Yeah, pretty close.
But
I know you were there during the Ice Age.
No,
Like,
I am the one that thawed the Ice Age.
Yeah, freaking caveman over there done figured out fire.
Yep.
All right, so I guess we're gonna move on to the next topic.
I can segue into that one with the FBI.
Okay, that's what was that your topic?
Yeah, it could be one of my topics. Yeah. So like I was telling BB earlier, it's like, I don't read a lot. I do a lot of mine by audiobooks. So one of them is, Killer of the Flower Moon. I don't know if you all are familiar with that title or not. Do y'all have like Apple TV?
Killer of the Flower Moon?
No.
Yeah, Killer of the Flower Moons. So it's a very interesting book. When I first heard about this book, it was like, oh, I've got to actually read/listen to it. And it's very interesting. And it's basically talking about the Osage Nation and the murders that happened in the 1920s. In case you weren't aware, in the 1920s, there were more millionaires in Osage County, Oklahoma, than anywhere else in the world. Now, it's not true today because the oil rights are not there, but they're starting to go more into air rights than they are oil, because the oil itself is still there, but they're not pumping as much. But they're actually getting ready to make them. They actually made the movie already. Martin Scorsese,
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yep, and Robert De Niro are all starring in this. And it was actually filmed in Pawhuska, Oklahoma. That's the cool thing about it. And they actually used the Osage Nation for their tribe for extras in the actual movie too. So it's got a lot of homage coming back to the actual people. But it was basically one of the most interesting books I've ever listened to, and the guy who wrote it did a lot of history into the actual Burkharts of that's the main characters of the actual story. I don't want to give too much away in case you want to read the book, listen to the book, or wait until the movie comes out in October.
I'm reading the synopsis of it now.
Yeah. So
We'll still end up watching.
So they before they knew of the oil, the Osage territory was rich in black gold.
yeah, you see and the strange thing about the Osage Nation, they were smart people because they actually bought their reservation from the federal government.
Mhm.
So when oil was found, they could not be moved again off of it in order to diverse the land. So
Yeah.
they were smart.
So the Osage. So I'm assuming that's Indians.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
they acquired vast land tracts, or they acquired vast tracts of land that would isolate them from white men and eventually result in a massive windfall once the abundance of oil was known to all. Okay, so the land wasn't desirable to the white man. So pretty much they didn't know the white man, which it was in the 20s, so that's why they're going to continue to say the white man.
Yes, it is. So it was not
so when they
farmable land.
pretty much when the white man found out that, hey, these Indians have gold, that's when the murders started taking place.
No, not really.
No.
So no, because you got to remember. So like people like E.W. Marlin, Lou Wentz, Bill McFadden, all these big guys back in the day that had all these different oil companies and everything. Of course, you know E.W. Marlin. He started Marlin Oil, and he bought the Continental Oil Company, which is Conoco for a lot of y'all, who's now ConocoPhillips 66 with Frank Phillips.
Mhm.
Frank Phillips and E.W. Marlin used to be two separate companies, one in Bartlesville, one in Ponca City. And they would actually bid against each other at the $1 Million Oak in Pawhuska, Oklahoma to get land to do oil drilling. Now it's funny because they're both one big company. But so they would actually go out, they would actually buy the leases from the Osage Nation, and then they would go drill that land, but they would actually have to pay a royalty back to the Osage Nation. But the Osage Nation individuals did not actually have the rights directly to their money because Congress had it set up to where they had to have a guardianship. So there's a lot of corruption going on in Pawhuska where, let's say, BB was my guardian. Okay, I had my head rights. I got my money. It was set in a trust, but in order for me to spend that money, BB had to approve it and do the actual physical purchasing. So BB would actually say, okay, you want to go buy this car? That's fine. 1920s, a car would cost, $800 for a luxury car, which would almost be about $200,000 now. Well, BB would take my $200, go buy that car, but he would charge me $200 to go do it. So you kind of see where the corruption comes in. The people who were the executors were making boot off of these.
In the 1900s, in the 1920s, the average car costed $260.
Yeah. So they would actually double the cost to go buy the car, and then they would actually have that money in their pocket.
Right.
So
they're making themselves like a middleman.
Yeah, exactly. And so the antagonist of the actual story on here wanted to do away with that. He just wanted that head right by itself. So that's where the killing actually started. And it wasn't, it's kind of a good murder mystery if you really read into it. But that's where the FBI was actually called in. Well, it wasn't the FBI at the time. It was something I can't remember exactly what they actually called it, but it wasn't truly FBI. But it was actually how J. Edgar Hoover got the actual approvals and fundings in order to create the FBI at that point.
The FBI was actually established in 1908 and was known as the Bureau of Investigations, or the BOI, or BI for short. Its name was changed to the Federal Bureau of Investigations in 1935.
1935. Okay. So yeah, it's but I don't think they had the actual powers what they actually have today until that actually broke. Because
so yeah, it said it did say in the 20s is when like reading on the movie synopsis, in the 20s is when the FBI was able to overthrow state law, like they could take over state law and say, okay, I'm in charge of this right now. Like from a federal level, you can step away, and I hold jurisdiction now.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's one of the most interesting, like I said, one of the most interesting books I've listened to or read in some time, and I am eagerly waiting to watch the movie.
Leonardo DiCaprio in it, I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
I mean, based off on what you just said, I definitely would either read it or watch it.
Definitely.
And I'm a big Robert De Niro fan too, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Robert De Niro and Martin Sikorsky. I can't know if I'm saying his name right or not, but I love almost every one of his movies, like Casino, Tough Guys, all the love them, and so I'm definitely on board to watch it. The only one I haven't watched of his is The Irishman. I haven't watched that one yet, but it's on my bucket list to do.
Yeah,
that was a good one. It reminded me of Goodfellas.
Goodfellas? Okay.
It had some Goodfella vibes in it.
Interesting.
I just got to find some free time to actually sit down and fire up Netflix to watch it before I goes away, or Netflix puts it in their quote unquote vault.
Yeah. Or
I'm shocked you don't have that in your library already.
No, because it's a Netflix film, so it's hard to get unless you can find it on DVD or something like that, and I can actually have a physical, tangible.
I think they did release
media.
that. I think they did release that one on DVD. Netflix is starting to release some of their stuff on DVD.
Oh, are they? Okay. Yeah. I'll look for it then. See if Worst Buy has it.
All right, Leprechaun, you want to start your topic?
Yeah, why not? So, basically, a couple of nights ago, we got to talking, and we're coming up with Discord channels or servers, and them coming up with guidelines and reasons to kick other people. But the main thing was that they couldn't just join in and be a part of a whole nother server that was pretty much like the same thing, just doing its own thing though. So we were talking about like how right is that? So like if you were to ask me what Discord was about, Discord to me would be just like meeting up to play games. So like say you want to play a certain game but there's no one to play with and you don't have the friends, or maybe your friends don't play the same game. To me, Discord that's what it was made for. It was to be able to join your server, and if you wanted to play this certain game, you would join that channel, and you would have all the people that play that game. But like there are certain servers nowadays where they want you to be part of their server and only their server. And if you have another server, they pretty much kick you or whatnot, and you got to find a whole other server if you wanted to. And we were talking about how right that was. Whether or not it should be a thing. To me, gaming is gaming. If you join the multiple servers, that's because some servers might not work for you, or you have them as a backup. But I don't think that a server should be able to tell you, "Hey, only join us. You can't join anybody else that's alike." Unless there's competition where they don't like each other. I can understand that, but
so you're talking about a dual clanning policy. That's what it's called. Yeah, absolutely. It's a video game.
I think it's absolutely bottom line bullshit that someone can put that rule into place.
Yeah,
I think it's absolutely bullshit.
Yeah.
You cannot tell someone that pays their Wi-Fi bill. I mean, well, unless you have some kids, that's different. But that paid for the game, pays their Wi-Fi, paid for their computer. I mean, you can't tell them that they can't play on their shit, man. Come on. You can't
Right.
tell them that. You can't limit me on what I can play. That's like saying, "Oh no, you can't play this game or you're done."
Well, to limit
no.
to limit what server
Like are you paying it? No.
to limit what
Exactly.
to limit what
Well-
server you could go in and say, okay, you're in our server, you're dedicated to our server. No, that's not right.
No.
Okay, I may not be on my server every night.
Yeah, or
like,
the main server that you play in may not have a server every night. I mean, like, just
Yeah.
Exactly. And me, you and Steve, I mean, we run into that all the time.
yeah, of course.
Oh
Wi-
yeah,
wi-
definitely.
SAFR doesn't do a stream every night. I mean, like, that's not the only server we play on,
yeah,
You know.
exactly.
and they
But-
don't expect us to be like, "Oh no, you can't play anywhere else." They
I
don't
mean,
expect that.
I don't give a fuck. I'll say the server that has that no dual clan policy. I mean, everyone knows already who they are. I mean, fuck Egypt, DOJ.
Fuck them. Who cares?
Like, they have all these rules in place and blacklisting all these communities because they broke off from DOJ because of things that have happened that everyone already knows about.
Yep.
That was your own damn fault. You shouldn't have a no dual clan policy.
No.
I may not always want
Well-
to play on your server.
I don't, and it's not like it's not even that.
I'll tell you what. Reimburse me my video game, and I'll do what the hell you tell me to do.
Oh, reimburse me for my internet. Reimburse me for Pay my internet,
Pay for all of
pay
it.
Pay
for
for my
me to buy
computer.
the game. Give me
Right.
Yeah.
half my money back for my computer because you ain't gonna fucking tell me what I can and can't play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's bullshit. That's absolutely fucking not okay for that to be a rule. And I mean, I would say even that isn't allowed, but I think even like blacklisting communities is fucked up.
Okay, so good example. I'm going to
That's-
do a search right now on YouTube just for the crap OJ, and
Yeah.
just to see what comes up by
Good,
live.
good name.
What's
Good name.
What's going on, Shadows? Old man BB,
So-
huh? Glad
Old
you're
man
listening.
there.
Glad you're listening, Ace. That's the only time you listen. You don't ever listen to anything.
So I mean, there's only like if I type in crap OJ RP, one that still pops up. Of course, it's gonna always pop up. It's gonna be, of course, you know who.
Yep.
Bugs. Okay, I mean that's a gimme for there. But I mean, this is like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
There's only like one other major one, Mr. Gulex or whatever, and it's like, okay, so that's the only one that's actually showing up as live, and then like on Tego, it's like, why did I leave? And it's like, okay, and that was like 5 months ago, and he's playing Minecraft when he's talking about it. And so it's like, now it's like, it's only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
I don't know. I just
14.
don't think that's
And-
you can't do that to anyone.
No.
It's not
can't-
right. Like,
You
unless-
can't tell someone that paid for all of their shit that they can't play on a different server or a different game for that matter.
Right.
Like no. Well, and I don't even think I don't
You
even
ain't my mama, you ain't my daddy, and you don't pay my shit. So
I
you
don't
can't
think
tell me
that
what to
I
do.
don't think that
Right.
even blacklisting a server in another community is okay. Because like, how is that fair? Like, what? I mean,
Unless
like
they did
even
something really wrong.
and even then, like, how are you gonna tell them that's that server telling another server that they can't play with them?
Well, I don't know. Like, if you definitely
I
have
mean, like,
bad
man-
blood and for a good reason, then I can understand it. But you have to have a good reason.
Well, even
You
that
can't
though,
just-
that's still that
Well,
that's that server's administration and higher up saying that these people cannot play with us anymore.
So look. I'm just gonna tell
It's the same thing.
I'm just gonna tell Ace, or I'm just gonna tell Polly, Jess, and Hunter. Y'all can't play on anywhere else but United Roleplay. If it's not United Roleplay or SAFR, y'all can't play anywhere else.
Nope. Or you'll be kicked.
Yeah, y'all will all be kicked if you don't play on United Roleplay or SAFR because those are the same communities or close knit communities.
So I actually kind of have to listen because I mean we share the same internet, and I mean.
Well,
No,
so that means you can change the password.
No,
this is his computer. So.
that's redundant. I would never do that. That just like, are you gonna listen
there's
to
no
me?
reason
Like,
for it. There's no reason for it.
You are your own person. Are you gonna listen to me and say, okay, BB said that I can't. BB said I can't
No.
play on anything else but these two servers.
Well,
So there's only 28,000 other servers.
Well, here's
on 5.0.
another thing. Here's another thing. That's just telling people that they can't play in other servers is just another rule to put in place that people are going to want to break. Because when you put a rule in place, people are going to push that fucking rule as far as it'll fucking go. So,
Oh yeah.
I
I know
mean,
a couple people that love to do that.
realistically, you're gonna have people that fucking push the rule as far as you'll absolutely let them push it. So, in my opinion, if that's gonna happen, why even make the fucking rule? Like, why not just fucking let them play other places? Why does it matter? Like, does it hurt? What? Oh, your feelings get hurt? Well, nobody really cares. So, get the fuck out of here. Anyway,
the worst part of the whole entire thing is they have fucking confidential informants that are in multiple like other like in their blacklisted communities.
they have moles.
They have moles in their blacklisted communities.
So they're breaking their own rules.
So that
No,
so that they can call that person out and say, hey, this person is in this person's in so and so server. So they're dual clanning right now.
They're not really breaking their own rule because they're just in those they're just in those discords for those servers, and then they go, this motherfucker's in the Discord, so he's out.
No. It includes
a lot of times in order to be in the Discord, you have to be physically active in their roleplay communities.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
They're breaking their own rules.
That is correct.
We're whitelisted, so SAFR is whitelisted. You have to be active in the community. Now, I hold the option, and Bill holds the option as well, to keep you as like a new member. So you don't get the whitelist completely, but you do get in server, but you can only see certain things. You know, me and you tested that the other night, Polly, is so like if I don't completely whitelist you, because
then you're not going to see everything that a member would see.
You would only be able to see
limited
the welcome channel. That's all you're going to be able to see is the welcome channel. So until you take your steps to become whitelisted, then you're going to stay under new member, and you're only going to be able to see a limited amount of things. But these moles, so because they're not whitelisted, say they're friends with you, say they're friends with you in Discord, they can look at your mutual servers and can see that you're in that server, even though they're not whitelisted. There's ways for them to be able to tell that, like, hey, you're in that server.
Yeah.
And like I was saying, it's messed up that they.
And that's also fucked up, but.
Yeah, it's messed up that they have this rule set in place, and yet they're breaking their own rule.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. It's fucking, I mean, you're not going to be able to win with these fucks on that, so. There's really no reason to fight it, to be honest. But I don't agree with it, so.
So should they get banned from their own server?
I would not. Well, no, they're not going to get banned from their own server because it's all the fucking higher ups that are the moles, so.
Yeah, they never patrol. They just go out and be moles everywhere else.
They're just the moles. They're just like looking for people to fuck up and be in another server. Like, oh, yep, we're kicking him today.
That's what we call a bootlegger.
That's bullshit, dude. That shit fucking drives me up a wall. God, if I could get their server shut down, I fucking would. So fucked.
No, they don't need help getting their server shut down. They're on a pretty good path to doing it themselves.
Good. Fuck
Yeah.
them.
I don't understand why people.
I don't understand why people think they can tell other people
Well,
what to do.
No, I don't understand why people still join communities of that nature.
Oh,
like,
I know. I don't
that-
know how they still get. I don't know how they still have members left after
Like-
all that bullshit.
At that point, you're a dictatorship. Like, you're no longer a democracy. You're no longer about your community. You're in charge of that community, and you tell your community what they're going to do. Bullshit. No. The way I see it, and I've preached it to y'all, and me and Bill agree on it too as well, and Steve has been in those conversations too, is that even as a leader in a community, I was a member before I was an admin. I was a member before I was a Discord owner. I was a member before I was a 5M owner. I'm no better than the rest of our community. I'm going to play like I'm a part of the community, not that I'm above the community.
Right, and I've told you that many times too, like with United Roleplay. It's like, oh, do you want it? It's like, yeah. Let me fill out the application. Let me start at the bottom and work my way to
Right.
the top.
And that's what all of us are doing. All of us are going to start from the bottom, pretty much. I mean, Hunter can say he's over Civ, so Hunter can say, no, you don't have to. Well, no, I'd rather do that. I think all of us should, including himself. And same thing with Leo. That's where I get at with, like, let's get down to the nitty gritty and be a part of the community. Let's show the community that, man, you can surpass me in a rank within my own community.
Even though we're, even though
Even
HA
though-
and all.
Even though there's six technical owners of the server, 6 technical owners of the 5M server. The 6 of us are a part of the community, and you could surpass the 6 owners in their ranking system.
Yeah, I mean, if you play more, then you're gonna probably get promoted more often. I mean, that's just how it goes.
Now, we're not doing our promotions, based off of hours.
Yeah.
We'll base it will hours are going to take part, like that's going to be a thing. Hours are going to play a role in it, but I feel like it should be like a recommendation thing. Let another member see that you did something, that you went above and beyond, and your role play was just amazing.
Yeah.
LEO side or Civ side, hey, this person deserves to get ranked up. So like accommodation. Give me accommodation.
So like, okay, they have to be recommended, but also they have to meet these requirements.
So
Okay.
like me and Steve got accommodations to become a detective in a server. And from what I understand is that will be like the path going forward. Like to get to the next promotion, you'll have to have accommodation from at least 2 people to say, hey, this person deserves to rank up. Which I know you didn't know about that, Steve. That was like a
Oh, really?
that was a side
No.
conversation. So like me and you got 2 accommodations from A5 and A1. I don't want to A5.
Okay, yeah. I had to stop and think for a minute. Who's A5? Okay, I know what it is.
Yeah, I didn't want to call him out. I don't want to call him out on the podcast. I'm sure he
Yeah, I had
wouldn't.
to
I'm
stop and think for a minute.
I'm sure he wouldn't care, but
Nah, he
But-
wouldn't
but we-
care. He is so humble.
we got accommodations for that. Like
Yeah,
and-
and it's like
so I'd rather do that throughout the entire ranking system and be like, man,
Yeah.
I noticed this. Let's give recognition to this person for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
mean, again, and realistically, you don't even. I mean, for that, you don't even have to. I mean, I wouldn't think that even for that, you wouldn't really need to put any, hours per se in there, because if somebody's recommend them, hey, this dude's then they're probably on pretty frequently at that point. If they're going, oh, okay, this dude's,
Now, just so that everyone in the live stream and stuff knows, uh, we're still in the building process. We're only doing test patrols right now. We're not actually patrolling. We're not live streaming patrols. We will eventually get to that point. We're probably 3 or 4 months, maybe even 5 to 6 months away from actually becoming to that point of being able to do a patrol and actually do one efficiently. Not that we're not doing them efficiently now. I mean, we're having amazing small patrols with just HA and CA.
It's like you said, we're still in the building process.
Yeah, we're still in the building process.
I mean, like I'm still having the 5M issues where it's not allowing me to even see the 5M once it loads up.
So we actually had someone else have that same problem the other night, Steve, but somehow his resolved itself. But he was having the same black screen issue that you were having.
Well, actually, hold on a sec. I just had an update to the 5M client today.
Yeah, I ran into that too.
Let me see what I get here. Maybe might get lucky.
I mean, I'm continuously working with our devs. Ace works a lot with Hunter on the creative side of the 5M community, and my responsibility. So I'm over the business side and financial side of our 5M community. So I deal with I deal with all the finances and all the partnerships and stuff that we have. But I have Galaxy that I use as my dev that I go in and test things for him and ask him to add in like little bitty things like the door locks
to lock speed thing.
The speed
limit thing. That's all that got added.
The tackle.
The tackle the tackle got added. I'm gonna get him to add one in to where it'll ping the server when you use more than 2 cartridges out of your stun gun, because it's in our SOP that you only have 2 cartridges. So SAFR has that similar thing too, or the same thing. You've got to go back to your car and reload, or you get more cartridges to be able to use more than 2.
So my only thing with that would be like, would you be able to RP like that? You grab extra cartridges, or
I don't.
How does that work?
I don't know if you realize this, but we hold server logs, so I can go back and look at a server log, and can see like what you typed in chat. So I'll know if you did like /me grab
extra cartridges. Grab 2 extra cartridges.
Yeah.
Then you go, okay, well then now he's got 4 shots.
Well, no, you shouldn't automatically grab 2 extra and say, "Oh, I might need these."
Well,
like that's really not realistic.
No, but I mean, you never know too. At
that point, you might as well say, "Man, I've got a taser here and I got a taser here."
I got 4 tasers right there. That's 4 shots I get.
I mean,
Molly gonna come in the server next, be like, "I got 5 tasers, motherfucker."
You send me a screenshot of your character and him have 2 tasers on him. I'll be like, you know what? All right, dude. You do you got 2 tasers. You got 4 cartridges. But guess what? When you do the 2 tasers, you lose your pistol somewhere. So because EUP's not set up for you to have 2 tasers, it's either you're gonna have 2 tasers and no pistol, or you're gonna have a pistol and a taser. So you decide which one's more important to you, less lethal or lethal. At that point, Polly, you might as well be a meter maid.
Fuck you. Look, all right. Well, we all know BB's the paper pusher and the bookkeeper for us. So just let's make that clear.
You mean the pencil pusher?
Nice, the paper pusher.
Just remember, I signed your paycheck.
Well, fuck off.
I also keep track of how much you're gonna get paid, so you're kind of like in a lose-lose situation here.
Yeah. Oh well.
I think I might need a new A3. Steve, are you good? You think you might want to become A3?
Maybe A100 somewhere
I
way
see how
down the
it is.
line.
Okay, well, I'll see y'all later on the next one.
Well, you see the way we work, Steve, is the lowest your number, the more that like people get to come to you. So A100, that means man, it's got to go through Steve,
Yep.
and then it goes to Polly, then it goes to Ace, then it goes to me, and it should never get to me unless y'all absolutely can't handle it.
Well, if that's the case, I'll take a negative number.
Well, I
with
mean,
you,
you know
Alex.
it's gonna happen. People are still gonna go directly to him, so it's really not that big of a deal. Just like they
people are
always
gonna-
do.
People are still gonna work their way around everyone that they're supposed to and straight to the head.
Well,
Like, people aren't gonna come to us. They're gonna go straight to BB. They're gonna be like, oh, they're not important, and go straight to the owner.
well,
Nah,
we can fix that.
yeah,
I'll put that shit in check right now.
well, that's gonna get fixed. That'll be fixed real quick. If anyone comes to me like about anything server wise, it's gonna or Discord wise too as well. And like, did you follow your chain of command? Is gonna be my first question. Because
So in that case, we need to put something out that tells the chain of command, so that way.
well, we're not to that point yet.
Yeah.
So me and Ace are working on LEO SOP, which it's just about done. I've got someone proofreading it to tell me if if it's like acceptable as an SOP, and then we're going to move on to the civilian SOP, which will have what end up happening with civilian SOP is we already have one in place. I just have to go through and edit it and make sure everything's good with it, and then I'll send it to Hunter, and then let Hunter look over it, and Hunter decides what's going on with it.
So you're doing an SOP for LEO just together?
So what's going to end up happening is our handbook is going to have everything all in one. So we'll have a table of contents within that handbook, and it'll be our Discord rules as the first section. The second section to be LEO SOP. The third section to be civilian SOP, and then we'll eventually add in fire SOP and EMS SOP. But it's all going to be in one area because I don't want a million Discords.
Right.
Well, I would actually throw one other SOP in there. This is just my own personal observations from of all the different communities I've been a part of. You got fire and EMS, but I'd actually have one in there just for volunteer fire departments also.
Ooh, that's actually a
Because-
good idea. I kind of like
Because
that idea
you're
as
not
well.
going to always have fire and EMS on the servers
Right.
all the time, and you're
Yeah.
going to need to have your volunteer fire staff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually a good idea. I like that.
So I could talk about our server and stuff for forever. I'm super interested in it. I love talking about it. It's something that I really enjoy talking about. I mean, we hold board meetings on the regular of what can we do new, and I mean the last board meeting we had, it was a super legit one. Everyone had talking points, and everyone came up with presentations and stuff. I mean, just right there shows how involved we are within our community. But I would like to move the next topic on to Jess. What is your topic?
Yeah, I see you smiling over there, tell us, Leprechaun. I actually want to talk about people's normal experience. Anybody has anyone had one?
Right. What would you describe as a normal experience? With what?
Like a paranormal
A
experience.
ghost
A ghost experience.
Oh, like paranormal. Okay.
So I've had a couple in my life.
Looky there, Polly said, "Fuck this. I don't." He said, "I don't do ghosts. I'm out of here."
Sorry,
A-
Polly.
And then Steve, he muted. He's not deafened, but he's muted. He's like,
He's like, not me.
He's over. He's
No,
over there.
I switched over to my phone so I could step downstairs for a couple of minutes.
He's over there shivering in his boots right now, even with the thought of a ghost.
So has
I've
anyone...
actually had. Yes, I have. But give me a couple minutes and I will get into it.
All right.
Okay. So my first paranormal experience, I was on my ranch and I was taking a shower and I was alone in the house. There was no one else home. It was just me on the ranch. And all of a sudden, the cabinet doors fly open and all the towels fly into the bathroom. And my shower curtain rips open. And my water shuts. That was my first experience. Second experience was I was asleep on the couch in the living room and my blanket got ripped off and pushed me off the couch. I was by myself, down there. Ooh, very weird experience. And then I was in my bed, asleep. It felt like someone had sat down at my feet and grabbed my ankle and wouldn't let go. And I had a bruise on my ankle, little finger on my ankle the next morning.
See, I don't have any experiences personally, but like I do believe in the paranormal. Like there's a lot of experiences or moments that people have captured and stuff, and I don't know. Like there's so many of them that actually sound true. There's some of them that don't sound as true. They sound kind of made up, but there's some of them that they actually have pictures or videos and stuff, and it's like the unexplainable.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely believe in stuff like that.
Yeah, so on the ranch, there is, before you go to the barn, there is a headstone because the ranch is on a old cemetery. There's a headstone, and his name was William, and we all called him Willie the ghost, and he loved messing with, loved just picking on, scaring the hell out of us growing up. And of course, the smaller ones were the ones that got picked. He never hurt us, but he would scare us a lot. Polly, do you have any paranormal experience?
Not any that I've had. No, not really.
You believe in that?
I do. I do. I mean, me personally, I lost my grandpa in 2014. So it's been like almost 9 years, in the end of this month, it's been 9 years since he passed. Sometimes I like question things. I don't know. It's kind of weird, like the experiences that I've had with it before. Like I mean, it could be anything really, but sometimes it's just like get that feeling, I'm gonna do something, and then like something's like, you better not do that shit. And I don't know if that's just like, my brain doing that, or I don't think it is because
Or
you know,
him getting in your head saying.
or he's like, yo, don't be a dumbass. Come on now, get your shit together, bro. So I definitely think that.
I feel you, Polly. I lost my grandmother in 2016. Uh, that woman was my best friend. I think that when you lose someone like that impacted your life, I'm sure he probably impacted your life like majorly.
Yeah.
My grandmother impacted my life majorly, and I feel like they become a part of your conscience. So like I wish I had like voicemails that she used to leave and stuff like that, just so I could hear her voice. But it's like my conscience has her voice, and it's like I could hear her like telling me, "Hey,
like, hey, retard, get your ass out of here."
Hunter could tell you that that's actually something she would like.
Come on, man.
She would say, you know,
Yeah.
That is something that she would say.
you retarded son of a
Yep.
bitch. Why did you do that? You know, there's not a day that goes by that you don't think about that person. And like I said, my grandmother was my best friend. So, you know, there's always going to be that piece of you that's missing because they're not there anymore. And I dream about her all the time. I mean, that's as close to paranormal as I get. Is like,
oh yeah,
you know,
that happens to me a lot too.
Just as if like she was still here, type of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how that works, but it does happen quite a bit to me. I feel like.
Yeah, I'm looking at your camera. Your curtain just kind of moved in. You're talking about her.
That was the dog. Did you see me look back?
But
yes, I did.
But I do really feel that like they become a part of your conscience when they pass over, and they're telling you when you're doing something wrong. Like I'm a firm believer. When she passed away, we saw a many of red cardinals. And you know they say that red cardinals are a sign of someone watching over you.
There's a red cardinal when I go to work, and he sits on the hood of my car every day when I get there, no matter what time I get there.
And then me and Jess also, you know, we lost a baby back in 2019, and it was the same way. We were seeing red cardinals, and they were in pairs at that point.
The day that I had him, my room was outside of the garden. And then there was a beautiful rose bush outside my window. Now, the day we went in was not very pretty, but the next day, not a cloud in the sky, was beautiful. And we looked out, and red card staring at my room. Like the morning after I had him.
All right, Steve, what's your scary story? Your scary ghost story?
I want to hear this.
I want to hear the flashlight click.
Pretty much. So, like I was telling y'all before the show and everything, you know, I grew up out in the great state of Oklahoma and everything, out around in the Osage Nation and everything. I grew up in an old shotgun house. Do you know what a shotgun house is?
Yep.
Okay, so basically you can open up the front door, shoot a shotgun, and it'll go right out the back door. So this is an extremely old house. I think we dated it way back into, I think the 1920s when the actual house was built. Well, in Oklahoma, they do get storms, it rains and everything else quite a bit. So we had an old floor furnace, and it completely rusted out and not working anymore at all, period. So we had to replace the floor furnace, but instead of actually replacing the actual unit, we put a wall unit in. We boxed in the area around it and put an actual wall unit in so we could get better heat and everything throughout the house. 2 to 3 months later, after all the work was done and everything else on it, I'm sitting there and I'm going through the back bedroom, coming out the door, and there's a little kid about the age of about 5, 6, dressed like he's in the 1960s/70s, and this is like early 90s, and he just comes right around the corner and he just sucker punched the hell out of me, and his fist goes right through me. And the only thing we can think of is the people that may have lived in the house before we moved in or whatever may have had a kid or something, and they didn't know how to physically dress or whatever, and they picked an air that was close to be recognizable. But that literally scared the living hell out of me. And the only thing we can think of is because we modified the house from the original state from what it was in.
He was mad.
He was
Yep, very
not
mad.
liking that shit.
No.
So, growing up and staying at my grandparents' house, who lives across the street, my granddaddy, his mom lived for a very long time. And she passed long before me. Well, me and my sister were asleep in the back bedroom, which was her room at the time. And I hear something in the hallway. We slept with the door open, and when you look out the bedroom, you go straight down. You can look straight down the hallway into the bathroom. And I wake up and I look, and there's a lady in a wheelchair. My granddaddy and my grandmother did not use a wheelchair. So I get up, I turn on the hall light, it's gone. Well, I go into the kitchen to get a glass of water. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, and she's in the laundry. And this lady follows me to the bedroom. And they had a bunk bed, and I was on the top bunk, and I race to the top bunk, and she is just staring up at me, just looking me dead in the face. I didn't know what to do at the time. She was asleep, grandparents were asleep, and I just sat there and looked at her for I don't know how long, till she just faded away. And I told my grandparents the next morning. They were like, yep, that was Papa's mama. It's like, oh, good to know. She's family. Thank you for not hurting me. You scared the hell out of me. And I saw her multiple times growing up in that house. Moment of silence.
BB's turn, I guess, for topic.
Yep, BB, your
Drink
turn.
to that. Yep, I'll drink to that. There it is. Your turn.
All right, guys. We're going to move on to the last topic. We've touched this one before, but they change all the time. What is everyone's current favorite video game and why? Current, not like what is your favorite retro? What is your current favorite video game and why? So I'm into an array of video games. Steam has introduced me to a lot of indie games, and I didn't used to be into indie games, but Steam has some really cool ones. But mine is not a indie game. Hang on a second. My current favorite, and it's been out for a while, was and it had a lot of bad reviews, but I love the TV show, and once you learn how to play it, it's super easy, and it's actually really fun. Was the Deadliest Catch video game. Actually owning your own boat, hiring workers to catch your crabs for you, and you're actually picking your spots to where the crabs would be, and you're having to watch like your water temperature and things of that nature. I got that game and literally did not get off of it for probably 5 or 6 hours. And it's just one of those games that it never ends. So like you finish the season and you start another season, and you could just continuously progress as long as you don't go into the negative in the amount of money that you had that was allotted to you for that season, and you catch the amount of crabs that you're supposed to catch before the season ends, then you're all good. Super interesting. I enjoy it. It's actually controller friendly, and it's like $4 or $5. It's not a very expensive game at all, and the graphics really aren't that bad. That's what a lot of people bitched about was the graphics and the gameplay. They say the gameplay was kind of buggy, but I didn't catch any bugs like in mine. I'm still healthy. So let's move into the order on my screen of who is next. And that would be the person to my right, Polly. What is your current favorite video game and why? Leave out 5M. 5M can't be your favorite.
So, I guess I've really only been playing one other game, so...
I already know what it's going to be.
I mean, I guess I don't play that much, but at the moment I'm not anyway. But I think Grounded's pretty fun. It's definitely a learning experience game for me.
Hey, I'm glad you introduced me to it because like we've been kicking some butt on that game here lately.
I think it's pretty fun. I mean, I've always been like a survival game kind of person, really. Like, I really got into Ark.
Polly immediately says, "Don't fuck with the spiders." So immediately it's like, I'm gonna go fuck with the spiders.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I did that too.
Well,
I mess with the ant.
What night was it, Polly? It was a couple of nights ago. You were like, "Yeah, you can't." He was like, "Don't go in the spider den." And I was like, "Oh, I really want to go in the spider den." I was like, "They're sleeping. They're not gonna mess with me." And he's like, "Don't wake up." And I go in and out to the right, and I was like, "Dude, they didn't wake up." And he's like, "Yeah, you just got lucky." And I was like, "I'm gonna try again." And I went back the same way, and I went out another exit, and I was like, "Dude, they didn't wake up." He was like, "Yeah."
Don't push your luck.
I'd probably stop while you're ahead.
I don't know. I'm just a big survival game guy. Like, I played, Ark. I played 7 Days to Die. I played,
Have you tried
Of
Project
course.
Winter yet?
Have played what now?
Project Winter?
I have not. I have seen some stuff about it, but I have not played it yet.
Is that
It's
one that
definitely.
one
it's
to add to
interesting.
that one to add to mine and Polly's list? Me and Polly went into a rabbit hole not too long ago, just looking up random games to play, and Steam will like send you down a rabbit hole.
You will literally look up one thing and you will be fucking gone for hours.
Well, and we did it for like 2 hours. We'd click on a game and then we'd scroll down and it would give you another recommended game, and then you click it and you just keep going and going and going.
That's kind of like what I do with Wikipedia. I just do random clicks from one article to another article to another article just from the same one.
But yeah,
I just spend hours of just being in a rabill hole.
Sons of the Forest is definitely one that I want to check out for sure.
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance. I have not had a chance to check it out yet.
Bill has said that's a good one.
I'm kind of hoping, that he, I'm hoping once his stuff's going, I can check it out, and I'll have to just talk to him more about it. But it's definitely something I'm definitely interested in playing.
Yep. Same here.
I played Stranded.
We're all into like games that all of us can play because we're more than just a 5M community. Like we have game nights. So any ideas of multiplayer games is definitely always wanted.
Game of Life too. There it is. There it is.
You lucky son of a bitch.
We need to have a Jackbox party night one of these nights.
Yeah.
We've been down that rabbit
I don't know
hole.
what that is. but
Yes,
I'm down.
yes, you do. You've played
Oh
it.
my God, you've got to be. Oh yeah,
Oh, is that
like
the one with multiple games?
like Fibbage
Number
and
two,
What is it?
Fibbage is a really good one.
What's it called?
It's
Jack
where-
of Life?
No, Jackbox party games. There's like
Jack
8 different party.
Box-
There's
I'm about
8
to-
of them out there.
Yeah.
Is it?
We
Is it
got.
what Steam?
Yeah, it's on
yes.
Steam.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I know what it is.
Jack.
What was it, Hunter?
of-
We did like that horror version of it.
And that's what I was just telling her. Yeah. it
You
was like
said
a torture
Jack
room.
of Games?
No,
Jackbox.
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 Do you remember back in the day that they used to have a game, just one game called You Don't Know Jack?
Yep.
Yep.
And they took that game and they made more games around it. Then they put out 8 different versions or 8 different packs. They've
Oh,
got like
good lord.
20 different games
Yep.
that are out there.
Dude,
Wow.
it's fun. I think me and Hunter bought 5, 6, 7, 8.
We bought like 3 of the more recent versions. I know. I can't say if it was the newest ones, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm a moderator for another streamer, and they
Uh,
will do that like on New Year's Eve. And just have everybody just play along with them.
we hooked it up on the because you could play on your phone.
Yeah.
You could play on your phone, so we hooked it up to the big screen TV, and we just all sat on the couch and was playing from our phone with the laptop running.
Yep.
But
You can do it on
like-
Xbox
like,
or all the other
we could-
platforms too.
we could send
Yep.
you the invite code, Polly, and if we're watching it on the big screen, we could watch you like make your decisions on the big screen TV.
What the fuck?
Or what you could do is you could actually get into Discord and just share it on Discord and have them watch it on Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can still
yeah.
play remotely too.
Yeah,
Interesting.
It's fun.
yeah, we'll have to give that a try. I totally forgot about that game. Thanks for bringing that one up, Steve. We may get back into that.
Yeah.
How many of those do you have?
I had 2 of them on the Game Pass, but they took them off on the Xbox because you can start the game on the Xbox and then give out the code to whoever you want, and you can share it on like Discord or do it on YouTube or even Twitch. I mean, it's platform friendly, and they make it that way. So, but I had like 2 of them on the Game Pass, but they take them off. But I can get them at a discount on Xbox.
Well, if that's something you're interested in, we'll host a Jackbox night.
Yeah. Are we down?
I can't
Yeah, I
remember.
might do that,
I can't
coming
remember how many players. I can't remember how many players you could have at one time.
It depends on the game. Some of them
Yeah.
you can only have 6 players. Some of them you can have up to 12. But majority of it is right around 6 to 8 per game.
So we'll
Oh,
all.
look, there's 5 of us here.
So after that, after the podcast, we'll have to look into which one all of us would enjoy all together and potentially get that one, and so we can host a game night of that one night.
I'm down.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Jess and what her current favorite video game is. Again, it can't be GTA or 5M.
Which sucks because that's all that I'm playing at the moment. But second to that would probably be Human Fall Flat. I really did enjoy playing Human Fall Flat. That was a good game. Then there was another one with obstacle courses. Tell us, Leprechaun.
Yeah. That's pretty much mine.
Fall Guys.
Fall Guys?
Fall Guys.
Fall Guys.
God damn.
Human
Fuck that.
Fall Flat and Fall Guys.
Uninstalled from the computer already.
Damn.
I already uninstalled that shit.
Oh,
That was a good game.
Ace
Fuck
isn't
that game.
Ace isn't watching right now.
I know.
Fuck that game. Actually, hey, there's an update on Fall Guys. Matter of fact.
Yeah, Hunter was playing it like 3 weeks ago, and they did an update, so you were getting
They
multiple.
have new maps.
You were getting different maps, and you weren't getting like you got a different map every time you played, right, Hunter? Like it wasn't continuously giving you the same map like it was doing.
So what they do is they do it by season. So like each season's a whole different theme or whatnot, and
Like
that includes
fucking
the map.
fucking Fortnite.
Good
Fortnite,
God. Don't
Sea
start
of
that
Thieves, there's a lot
bullshit.
of them that do seasons
You don't
nowadays.
let you don't make a motherfucker start making us playing Fortnite and shit. I ain't into that bullshit.
But going back to Justice though,
Fuck.
since she brought up Human Fall Flat, I'll let her talk.
Like I really did. I really enjoyed playing Human Fall Flat. It took me a minute to figure out how to play. You know, I'm not a big player, but I really did enjoy playing that one and Fall Guys.
Yeah, because Human Fall Flat was more like a puzzle type of deal.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
like
like,
it was like Fall Guys like graphics, but it was like
puzzly.
puzzles.
Human Fall
Yeah.
Flat was the one me and you, Polly, like we were like, me and you were
Yeah.
like competition. Like I can get here before you can get here.
Yeah.
Oh, and then it was the catapult. Me and you were trying to
Yep.
shoot each other off the catapult.
Yep.
And then Hunter, I was telling Hunter about it, and he goes, "Oh yeah, you know you could do that by yourself. Like you could shoot yourself out of the catapult."
Yeah, 'cause y'all got a head start on me. Y'all went through a whole bunch of levels in like one night or whatnot. So I caught up, and then I think I got to a point where you're like, "Yeah, you're ahead of us. I don't know how far ahead, but you're ahead of us now." But yeah, I started figuring stuff out.
Well, me and Polly
Yeah.
stopped at
I thought that was fun.
me and Polly stopped at the castle.
I can't remember where I stopped at, but I just remember you
stopped
saying
at
I
the
was
castle.
ahead.
We got
Got
to the castle one, and then I stopped, but then I ended up going back.
But yeah, I mean, I like the game definitely for the puzzles. Like, it's not, where you need a whole bunch of people and you're running and
No.
all that. Like Fall Guys, it's more of like you just have to find a way out. And you can come up with different. That's what one thing I like about it was you could come up with different ways to get out as long as you got out. It wasn't just like one solid way. You could try a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
All right, Hunter. So, same question.
Well, you should already know it's Fall Guys. That's the recent game I've been playing the longest. Grounded was one of the games I did start on, but I never really started playing it as much of. But Fall Guys, I keep going back to. I don't know. It's more of a competitive side, I think. So I mean, I'm glad that they started renewing the maps, which they might have been doing it. Like I said, they've been doing seasons. So I mean, they probably keep doing that.
So, did you ever
But-
figure out if Did you ever figure out with Fall Guys if like people were just getting good or if the levels were just getting harder?
So I really don't know. Like to me, some of the levels they do get me. Like I had to learn them for a bit. Some of them I was able just to go straight through. But it does feel like the players are getting more advanced, or we're getting more people playing that know how to play games. Like it's not just like little kids running around and playing. Like it's more people that know how to play.
Yeah.
But they are adding new features in too. And I was telling BB about it. It was that you are able to do like a group, like a clan versus another clan. So like say for instance, we can have like 8 of us versus 8 other people. Like say
Wow.
our group versus their group.
I like that.
Yeah, they have a couple more.
That would be kind of cool to do.
Because I remember when I first started, or I guess when we first started playing it, they had like a 1-on-1 or a 2-on-2, but now they're doing like a bigger group thing. I was telling them that was pretty cool. Maybe have like a
shit.
server or something going at it. But I mean, they are adding like new features and like the new maps, and that's what got me to keep going. Because I got bored of the old maps for a minute,
Yeah.
and then once I realized they come out with new maps, I started playing it back again. And that was the reason I brought it up because here recently that has been the game I would go back to and play.
Yeah, I agree. I like it a lot.
Steve, what's your favorite game?
Oh, I'm kind of torn right now because
Ooh.
I've got
I'm-
2.
I'm curious on this one for real.
I'm about it's a beginning. Well, actually, right at the beginning of the pandemic, a couple of friends got me hooked on Minecraft.
Oh, good.
So
There you go.
I just like to go into Minecraft a lot of times and just sit there and just go down to the underworld and just freaking mine a straight line to infinity, just for the hell of it. But it's a tie between that one and City Skylines.
I was fixing to say I thought City Skylines was going to be like the game that you said was your most favorite.
Well, like I said, I'm kind of torn between the two because I literally haven't played Minecraft
See,
in
I can't.
over a year.
I can't say like City Skylines or Sid Meier or Tropico because Hunter thinks that I have a god complex when I play those games. Because he's like, I don't understand how you find those games interesting. You have a god complex. You're controlling
There it is.
You're controlling everything. So I can't bring games like that up into situations like this because he's gonna call me out every single time. And I try not I try not to listen to him bitch at me.
That's good shit.
What's like City Skylines? Okay, for an example.
Oh damn!
don't
You
really
didn't bring me
you-
one.
Oh damn, that's cold.
You never brought me.
I brought a spare.
It's,
I don't know about y'all. I brought an unpopped top on this and everything. Wow.
But
Damn!
like I said, Skyline, you-
I played bartender for him.
Normally, I'm the bartender, so
You are the bartender. What are you talking about?
Look, Polly. You notice I'm not going to the mini fridge. I'm going to the big fridge.
Yo, what's
that's
up with
because
that?
you got 2 12-packs of Truly, and they don't fit in the fridge.
Well, that's your problem. You got Trulies. No wonder.
No, so me, these are really good.
They are
Yeah.
really good.
So
They're
me-
punch one.
Me and Hunter.
Yeah,
me
but
and-
still,
me and-
they're
me
still
and-
Trulies.
Me and Hunter want to see because normally we'll just buy a 12-pack and we'll split them because there's 2 flavors I like and then there's 2 flavors that he likes. And we go through them really quick, so we're like, and we really don't get all that drunk. So, Jess, flip your mic up. We get through them really quick. So I bought a 12-pack for me, and I bought a 12-pack for him, and then we split the flavors that we like because we want to see how drunk we can get off of Trulies. But anyways,
You have to have a lot of Trulies.
Anyways, I interrupted Steve. Continue with your favorite game. I apologize.
Well, like I was saying, you really can't have a God mode in City Skyline because you got a money constraint. So you got to take that into consideration when you're actually playing the game. I mean,
yeah, I played City Skylines on PlayStation 4 when it first released. On PlayStation
yeah, and they've
4.
already announced, and they just dropped the last DLC for City Skylines because in 2 or 3 months they're going to be releasing City Skylines 2. So I'm kind of interested to see how bad that's going to be. I mean, how good that's going to be.
So thing is, are they gonna do you think that they're gonna just port City Skylines over and just call it 2 and add more DLCs into that and say, oh, we made a whole new game, but the game actually hasn't been completely remade? Because that's a problem in the gaming side right now. Is they're taking games and they're saying, oh, we're making a whole new game. We're calling it number 2, but it's truly number 1. But you added some features.
No, I think that they're actually going to completely revamp the UI in it. They've already said that there's actually going to be seasons. So instead of just being stuck in summer or winter, you're going to actually literally be able to experience all 4 seasons, which will be good. I hope that they actually work on the traffic a lot better because, I mean, if I had to compare the traffic, I'd say it's actually worse than, Grand Theft Auto 5. And, it's like, and you know how bad that traffic is.
Well, playing City Skylines, I think the traffic definitely was one of the irritating things because your flow of traffic would get jammed up no matter how you set it, like how you set your intersections and things of that nature. You still would have traffic backups.
Oh yeah, and it's because the way that their UI is designed in the game.
A big
It's
problem.
like when the car spawns, it already knows exactly where it's going to go and what route it's going to take, and it will not deviate from that.
A big problem.
Unless you delete the road.
A big problem I had ran into as well was once you start growing into a city, like going from a town or a small town and beginning to grow into a city, uh, it's like there wasn't enough hospitals and funeral homes and graveyards, and people were getting sick, and it's like I didn't have enough ambulances to go to those places to. Now, like I said, I played on release, so there's probably bugs, and I kind of gave up on it. It may be something I should probably look back into because I enjoyed building my cities.
Yeah, a couple of DLCs ago, they released bigger capacity hospitals and helicopter for medical. So it helps quite a bit. If my Elgato was actually plugged into my Xbox, I could actually just share out my Xbox because that's what I mainly play on. I've got it for PC and the Xbox, but I don't have all the DLC for the PC because I don't care for the interface that much on it, and plus I like playing by vanilla.
Gotcha.
But you can on my actual YouTube channel, I've got one or two cities where I started West Valley, but I screwed up the city, it got corrupted, had to try to find a good save, and it's like, to hell with it, I'm not even going to try to go forward with it. And plus, for some reason, my achievements got disabled in the stupid city, so I'm just kind of using it right now to play with some of the new DLCs before I actually start a new city, which hopefully will be before too awful long. Trying to get back into doing some other content other than doing nothing with the channel.
Got you. Well, guys, I appreciate all the topics. Uh, I think this was a good podcast. I appreciate you coming, Steve. We'll definitely have you back
Good
more.
for having me.
We'll have you back more often if you're interested and you ever want to join back. Just let me know. I think at this point you're beginning to become a part of the squad.
Oh no, run!
I would probably start dodging my messages if I was you. Anyways, guys, this was the Squadcast. Thank you for watching. I'm the Delta BB.
Bolly.
I'm JDB.
Oh, that's Leprechaun.
Decoy